Hi, and welcome to Intermediate 2. My name is Brett, and first of all, congratulations for making it through Intermediate 1. I'm sure you found it a massive challenge after pre-intermediate. The grammar and the vocabulary is a lot more challenging. We have a lot to get through this month, so let's get started straight away. Okay, can we open our books, our student books, to page 38, please? And on page 38, you will see some pictures. On page 38 and on page 39, these two pictures here. And we have this question. In the starter, scientists predict that the global warming will change our world forever. Look at the photos. What do you think will happen? Okay, now global warming. I have the definition here. Global warming is an increase in the Earth's average temperature in the air and oceans. Okay. Global warming is caused by the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, and from the cutting down of forests. So basically, the Earth's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay? So what do you think will happen? I want you to look at these pictures on page 38, 39, and with your partner, I want you to compare answers. What do you think will happen to the world? Okay, and here are some pretty common thoughts or predictions of what a lot of people might think will happen in the future. So if we look at this picture here, a lot of people think the sea level might rise and some cities will flood. So because of the rising sea level, cities will go underwater. And I think people will continue to cut down forests. You can see the picture here with the tractor. And this picture here, I don't think gorillas will survive because of the lack of forestry. And on page 39, we have this picture here. I think the ice in the Arctic will melt because of the rising temperature in the Earth. And I think the sea will become warmer, and I don't think coral reefs will survive. Okay, now these are just some predictions for the future. I want you to speak with your partner, and I want you to talk about what do you think life will be like in 50 years. So making predictions for the future. You can use some of these pictures and some of the answers here on screen to help you. Okay, now I hope you had similar answers with each other. I wish I could be there to hear them, but unfortunately I'm not. So I hope you could use some of these pictures and some of these sentences here to help you predict what you think will happen in 50 years. Okay. We're going to do a listening. But before we listen, I just want to go through some vocabulary from the task. So we have the verb to rise. We spoke about it with this picture, that sea levels might rise, so get higher and higher and higher. The Arctic is the most northern region on top of the Earth. So it has many different countries involved. Alaska, Russia, Denmark. To melt, the verb when we speak about ice. So if we have some ice and it gets hot, the ice melts away. To find solutions, to find ways to solve a problem. Okay? To do your bit is informal for to do your share of the work, so to help out. And finally, to bring up. So we bring up children. Bring up a family, raise a family, bring up children. Okay, we have these two people. Okay, it looks like they're married and they are expecting a baby. So she's pregnant. It doesn't look too far away. These two people, Hannah and Dan, are reading the newspaper and they are looking at the same pictures that we've just spoken about. We're going to answer these 5 questions and we're going to listen to their conversation. Okay, so we're going to need our notebook, if we can take it out, and we need to answer these questions. What is Hannah worried about? Why is Dan surprised? What do the scientists say about the future? What examples of global warming does Hannah mention? And how does Dan try to reassure Hannah? What does he say? Okay, so number 5, how does Dan try to reassure? How does Dan try to make Hannah think that everything is going to be okay? To reassure someone means to try and not make them worry, to try and relax someone, give them reassurance. Okay, so your notebook out, pencils ready, listening and writing answers for these 5 questions.
Things our grandchildren may never see.
Do you ever worry about what the world will be like when our grandchildren grow up?
Hang on. We haven't had our baby yet. I'm not thinking about grandchildren.
I know, but having a baby makes me wonder. What will the world be like when he or she grows up? Look at these pictures. Don't they make you worry about what could happen in the future?
Okay. Of course, things are going to change a lot in the next 100 years, even in the next 50, but...
I know, and I'm getting worried. Everyone says global warming is a fact nowadays. No one says it may get warmer or it might get warmer anymore. Scientists say that it definitely will get warmer. It's going to be a very different world for our children and grandchildren.
Look, Hannah, it's no good worrying. Not all scientists think the same.
Yes, I know, but most do. Look, it says here over 2,500 climate scientists agree. They say temperatures might rise by up to 4 degrees centigrade before the end of the century. Dan, this is the world our son, or daughter, is going to grow up in.
Hannah, you've got to take it easy. You're having a baby soon and I
can't help being worried. If the Arctic ice melts, there'll be floods and the polar bears will have nowhere to live. Oh, look at this!
Come on, Hannah. Look, here. It also says humans are clever enough to find solutions. We'll do our bit and we'll bring up our baby to do the same. Every little helps.
Okay, but maybe it won't help. It may be too late already.
Okay, if you'd like to hear that again, teacher, could you please play the recording one more time? Okay, now from these 5 questions, can we please check our answers with our partner? Do we have the same answers for these 5? Can you check with your partner? Then we'll check together on screen. Okay, now that you've checked with a partner, can you check your answers with these ones on screen, please? Okay, I'm sure you'll agree, global warming sounds like a pretty scary thing that maybe we should be worried about. Okay, we're going to listen to this conversation again. And you can see in exercise 2, we have some sentences from the conversation. However, we are missing some words from the conversation, from these sentences. So we need to listen again very carefully, and I want you to fill in the missing words. Okay, so listening and writing.
Things our grandchildren may never see.
Do you ever worry about what the world will be like when our grandchildren grow up?
Hang on. We haven't had our baby yet. I'm not thinking about grandchildren.
I know, but having a baby makes me wonder. What will the world be like when he or she grows up? Look at these pictures. Don't they make you worry about what could happen in the future?
Okay. Of course, things are going to change a lot in the next 100 years, even in the next 50, but...
I know, and I'm getting worried. Everyone says global warming is a fact nowadays. No one says it may get warmer or it might get warmer anymore. Scientists say that it definitely will get warmer. It's going to be a very different world for our children and grandchildren.
Look, Hannah, it's no good worrying. Not all scientists think the same.
Yes, I know, but most do. Look, it says here over 2,500 climate scientists agree. They say temperatures might rise by up to 4 degrees centigrade before the end of the century. Dan, this is the world our son, or daughter, is going to grow up in.
Hannah, you've got to take it easy. You're having a baby soon, and I
can't help being worried. If the Arctic ice melts, there'll be floods and the polar bears will have nowhere to live. Oh, look at this!
Come on, Hannah. Look, here. It also says humans are clever enough to find solutions. We'll do our bit, and we'll bring up our baby to do the same. Every little helps.
Okay, but maybe it won't help. It may be too late already.
Okay, can you check your answers with your partner now? Okay, and finally, can you check your answers with mine on screen, please? Okay, nice. Let's look on the next page, on page 39, and we have our grammar spot, which is referring to the exercise we just did about predicting the future. Okay, and in our grammar spot, in exercise 1, it asks us which predictions are most sure, which are less sure. So we have these two sentences. It might, it may, or it could change, or it is going to, or it will change. So what's the difference between might, may, could, and going to and will? Okay, and as you can see here, if we say might, may, and could, they are all modal verbs that express a possibility of something happening. So there's a chance that this could happen in the future. It is going to, or it will change. Going to and will, they express predictions. The same, they both express predictions, but going to and will, we have some present facts. So we have some evidence of something that is going to or it will happen in the future. Okay, now in exercise 2, we have these 3 different sentences. We want to know which 2 answers to the question are correct and which is not and why. So the question is, can you come on Sunday? And the answer, sorry, I can't. I'm seeing my grandmother, I'm going to see my grandmother, or I'll see my grandmother. So which 2 answers to the question are correct, and which one is not correct, and why? Okay, so I hope you have the same answers as me. The first 2 answers to the question are correct. I'm seeing my grandmother and I'm going to see my grandmother. Why is I will see my grandmother not correct? Can you check with your partner, please? Okay, now as you can see on screen, we have the first sentence, I'm seeing my grandmother. So we're using the present continuous for future. We know the time in the future, so if we know the time and it's a plan, we can call it an arrangement. So we know the time in the future, we can use present continuous for a future arrangement. I'm seeing my grandmother on Sunday. Going to is similar to present continuous, but we don't know the time, or the time is not important. So the plan on Sunday, I'm going to see my grandmother. Going to, a future plan. Okay. Whereas when we use will, I will see my grandmother, this sentence is wrong because we don't use will for future plans or arrangements. We use will when we're thinking at the time of speaking. So we use it for a decision. For example, you're at a restaurant and the waiter asks you coffee or tea, and you say, I'll have some tea, please. So the decision is made at the time of speaking. We use will for intentions. So it's for the future, but there is no plan. So if your friend says to you, give me a call and we'll have dinner sometime. So it's a nice gesture for the future. It's a good intention for the future, but there is no plan. And we use will for offers. So I'll help you with your bags. They look heavy. So I want to help someone. All of these three things, decisions, intentions, and offers, there's no plan for the future. We're thinking and we're speaking at the same time. Okay, and finally, in exercise 3, we have these 3 sentences. We have, our love will last forever, I'm going to stop smoking next year, and we are meeting James at 11 o'clock in the conference room. Okay. I want you to match one of these sentences with an intention, a prediction, and an arrangement. So which one is an intention, which one is a prediction, and which one is an arrangement? Can we match these together and check with our partner, please? Okay, and can we check with my answers on screen, please? So, our love will last forever. It's a future prediction. We have some evidence now in the present because we love each other now, but forever, I'm not so sure. So it's a it's a prediction about the future. I'm going to stop smoking next year. So we have the future time next year, and it's an intention. It's something I want to do. I want to stop smoking next year, so I'm going to stop smoking next year. And the last one, we're meeting James at 11 o'clock in the conference room. So it's the future. We know the time, 11 o'clock. So it's an arrangement. Present continuous with future time is an arrangement. Future plan and arrangement. We know the time. Okay, now on exercise 3 at the top of the page on page 39, we have some different questions, and I want us to give our opinions. So working in small groups of 3 or 4, I want us to ask and answer and predict what we think is going to happen in the future. When we're doing this, I want us to use the modal verbs and the future form will to give our predictions. So we need to make the question first. So do you think something will happen? Okay. And in the answer, it may, it might, it could, or it will. Okay. So for example number 1, do you think the earth will continue to get warmer? Yes, it will definitely. I'm not so sure, it might. Or I don't think it will. So for an example, okay, in these 8 questions, we have some vocabulary that might be a little bit difficult. So in number 5, it says air travel banned. Okay, so to be banned. If something is banned, it means it's not allowed to be done. So it's like illegal or it's prohibited. You're not allowed to do this thing, to be banned. It's like smoking cigarettes in class is banned. You're not allowed to do it. Okay. CO2 emissions. So carbon dioxide emissions from what is being burnt off from the fuel. Like from driving a car, the smoke that comes out the back is the CO2 emissions normally from cars or from factories or planes. Source of energy. So number 6, new sources of energy. So like fuels, gases, and oil, things that give us energy to run machines or for electricity, things like this. And number 8, lifestyle. So someone's lifestyle, it's how a person lives their life. So we have these 8 questions. In our small groups, can we make the question with do you think and will, and give our answer predicting what we think will happen in the future. Okay, great. Now that you've had your little discussions about what you think will happen, your predictions for the future, let's listen to some other people talk about what they think will happen in the future.
1.
Do you think the Earth will continue to get warmer?
Yes, I do. The more I read about it, the more I think it will. A few years ago, I wasn't so sure.
2.
Do you think all the ice will melt at the poles?
Well, I don't think all the ice will melt, but a lot has melted already. Do you know, a new island near Greenland has just appeared. They thought it was part of the mainland, but it was just an ice bridge, and it melted. It's called Warming Island. A good name, don't you think?
3.
Do you think polar bears will become extinct?
I think they might. They only live in the Arctic, and I read that the ice there has decreased by 14% since the 1970s.
4.
Do you think more people will travel by train?
Definitely. I think lots more people will choose train travel when they can, especially across Europe. Of course, it won't always be possible to.
5.
Do you think that air travel will be banned to reduce CO2 emissions?
Well, I think it could become much more expensive to travel by air, but I don't think it'll be banned.
6.
Do you think new sources of energy will be found?
I hope so. Some people say nuclear energy is the only answer, but I think this could cause more problems. Actually, I like wind farms. They look amazing, but I know some people hate them.
7.
Do you think there'll be more droughts or more floods in the world?
I don't really know. There might be both droughts and floods. I think parts of London may be flooded. There's already a barrier across the River Thames to stop flooding.
8.
Do you think our lifestyles will have to change?
Definitely. They're already changing. We're told all the time to do things like drive smaller cars, use cleaner petrol, and recycle our rubbish. That worries me a lot, the amount of rubbish we make.
Okay, we heard some interesting predictions there about the future. I wish I could be there with you to hear what you think is going to happen in the future, or what you think might happen in the future. Okay, now on the same page, on page 39, can we scroll down? And in this section we have discussing grammar. In here we have some conversations, and we need to choose the correct verb. So is it the modal verb might or will? So for exercise 1, have you decided about your holiday yet? No, not yet. We've never been to Prague, so we will go there, or we might go there. Okay, so what do you think? Number 1, will or might, and why? Okay, so we know that we use will when we're thinking and speaking at the same time, and we make a decision, or an intention, or an offer. And might we use when we're speaking about the future, somewhere that's a possibility, so maybe or maybe here. So the question was, have you decided about your holiday yet? And the answer is no, not yet. We've never been to Prague, so we might go there. Correct. And can we do the same for the following conversations? 2 down to... Where's the last one? 2 to 8. Can we choose the correct verb for these conversations, please? I want you to do it by yourself and then check together with your partner. Okay, so now you have finished this exercise and you have checked with your partner. Now let's listen together and we'll check our answers together as a class. So listening and checking.
Have you decided about your holiday yet?
No, not yet. We've never been to Prague, so we might go there.
2.
Are you going to take an umbrella?
No, I'm not. The forecast says it'll be fine all day.
3.
Why are you making a list?
Because I'm going shopping. Is there anything you want?
4.
Would you like to go out for a drink tonight?
Sorry, I'm working late. How about tomorrow night? I'll call you.
5.
What are you doing Saturday night?
I'm not sure yet. I may go to friends or they may come to me.
6.
Are you enjoying your job more now?
No, I'm not. I'm going to look for another one.
7.
Your team's rubbish. It's 2-0 to United.
Come on, it's only half-time. I think they could still win.
8.
You won't pass your exams next month if you go out every night.
I know. I'll work harder nearer the time, I promise.
Okay, good. I'm sure most of you got that correct. Let's go back through and we'll speak about why they chose or why they said these certain verbs. So the first one, number 2, says, are you going to take an umbrella? So, are you going to? I want to know if you have a plan to take your umbrella. So so going to for future plan. Are you going to take an umbrella? The answer, no, I'm not. The forecast says it will be fine all day. Okay, so a future plan there. Going to take, and the forecast says it will be fine. Number 3, are you making a list? Why are you making a list? The answer, because I'm going shopping. A future plan, I'm going shopping. Is there anything you want? And number 4, would you like to go out for a drink tonight? Sorry, I'm working late. So again, an arrangement or a future plan. Tonight, I am working late. How about tomorrow night? I'll call you. So remember, thinking and speaking and an intention at the time of speaking. I will call you. And number 5, what are you doing Saturday night? So the future, a future plan, and I know the time. It's a present continuous. What are you doing Saturday night? I'm not sure. So a possibility, 50-50. I may go to friends or they may come to me. And number 6, are you enjoying your job more now? No, I'm not. I'm going to look for another one. It's a plan. So I don't say, oh, I'll look for another one, because it's something we make before we speak in our head. We think about this before the time of speaking. So I'm going to look for another one. And number 7, your team's rubbish. It's 2-0 to United. Come on. It's only half time. I think they could still win. So there's a possibility. They might still win. They may still win. They could still win. And the last one, number 8, you won't pass or aren't passing. So there's a chance you won't pass. Because I can see now you aren't studying very hard. You're going out every night. So based on the present facts, I'm thinking about the future. And the answer, I know, I will work harder nearer the time. So it's an intention, thinking and speaking at the same time. Okay, great job. Moving along to homework. Can everyone take out their intermediate workbook, please, and turn to page 32. Okay, and on page 32, much like last month with Zeta, we have this small reading task. And in this task, we need to find the future verb forms in italics. So the words on an angle. We need to find will 3 times, will as a prediction. So will be, will plus a verb. And we need to find won't as a prediction 2 times. Can we put them into this box? And the same with going to, arrangements with present continuous, possibility with may, possibilities with might, and possibilities with could. From this text, finding the verb forms and putting it in the box. And on page 33, exercise 2, using will for predictions, we need to complete these sentences and we are missing some words. So for example, number 1 says, you've been working so hard. I sure you pass exam. So I am sure you will pass your exams. Can we complete exercise 2 using will and any other extra words to complete the sentence, please? Exercise 3, questions and negatives. So we have a sentence and we're going to reply to the sentence with a question using will and the prompts in brackets. So for example, number 1, so you're going on holiday. When back? So the correct question would be, of course, when will you be back? Can we do the same in exercise 3 for these sentences, please? And finally tonight, the last exercise, exercise 4, offering to help. So it's so hot in here. Okay, I want to help, so say I'll open the window. There is no plan. Remember, thinking and speaking at the same time. Okay, can we make an offer to help for these next 4 sentences too? Okay, that's your homework for tonight, pages 32 and 33, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening.